My name is Joseph Sammut. I am a co-founder and the current deployment consultant and external affairs liaison for the Canine search and rescue team in Malta under the Order of Malta. And as part of the team, during the last 3 years since we founded the team, we've been training handlers, dogs, rescuers, medics and drone operators in the field specialization of searching for missing people, especially under the rubble, cadavers, dead bodies and missing persons, so tracking as well, so especially for the people that suffer from dementia, walking away from an old person's home, this kind of work. During my work, we've actually managed to assist the courts with cadaver searches, helping in missing persons cases and in murder investigations as well. And we're focusing right now on assisting local authorities and international search and rescue teams so that if and when, unfortunately, a disaster does happen, we'll be able to respond effectively along with the other first responders. Yes, and in fact, as part of my work specifically with the team, I work with INSARAG, which is the International Search and Rescue Organization under the United Nations framework. And INSARAG offers an open source course for first responders and for community first responders, which is essentially spontaneous volunteers. And myself and a few of my colleagues, we've been granted permission by the United Nations to teach this training on their behalf. And we've actually taught the first responder training specifically in 5 EU countries, locally and abroad, for search teams specifically, and for some rescue organizations and government entities as well. And now we're looking at teaching the simplified version, which is the community first responder training, to communities, similar to what we have in this project. It depends if the spontaneous volunteers have been trained or not. So spontaneous volunteers without training, similar to what happens in real life when there's an earthquake, they tend to help more on manual labor, so like rubble removal, the strategic rubble removal. So you'll have first responders guiding volunteers on which stones to carry out and how to shovel the debris so that they can gain access to the patients under the rubble. However, with more trained volunteers, people that have at least a basic awareness on what to do, they can be tasked with providing food aid, basic first aid, triage. There's a limitless amount of training work that they can actually do during a disaster, and typically they tend to help a lot with logistics as well, which is the biggest hurdle. So when it comes to first response in a disaster, it's not the typical hero shot, you know, that photo of the rescuer coming out with the baby. That's a very limited work. The majority of the work is background work. It's logistics. And that's what we tend to focus on, and having first responders that are trained guiding less trained people tends to be very effective. The challenges they face locally, for a simple matter of fact, that spontaneous volunteers don't exist locally. It's just the friendly neighbor that comes out to help. In fact, in the country risk profile for Malta, the interviews had suggested that typically locals tend to rely on each other rather than government entities. So it's more like you have a flood and the flood has flooded your basement and you ask your neighbor for a pump and they help you out, you know, it's this sort of community thing. Community first responders in this sense, spontaneous responders don't really exist yet, so this could be a first thing. What we do have is volunteers, so similar to me, people who do this out of their own free time and they train weekly, if not monthly, on the specific line of work. And in our case, the biggest challenges that we face are funding, respect. We have a big cultural problem in Malta where volunteers tend to be looked down on in our work and in our emergencies, and support from government entities. It is improving, so the government is involving us more and more over the years, but it's still very lacking.